Thank you very much, everyone. Don't mind me looking left and right. I've probably been put into the middle seat for a reason. No, that's okay. I think we'll just go on. So we will start with you, Dhavalji. And so obviously, you've been using AWS for a few years now, and you actually migrated your SAP workloads on us almost 4 years back.
Yeah.
Would love to hear from you on your experience. What was the driving decision for you to actually make the move 4 years back, right? When it was still, where cloud back then was still a little bit of an inhibition for people.
Correct.
And how did it help you during the recent pandemic times? Making that change back then, how did it really help you during this pandemic time?
Okay. Thank you, Amit. So we started our cloud journey somewhere in the first quarter of 2018 by moving one of the landscape to the cloud. And then I think since then we have never looked back for the cloud journey. It's a strategy, it's a philosophy that we will be on the cloud for all the applications. And then we started moving other infrastructure on the cloud. We moved to SOH. We moved first of all ECC to cloud and then to HANA database on the cloud. And then we started our journey for greenfield implementation of S4 HANA. And that is where we leverage the cloud also very well, and the entire journey of implementation, right from the partner kickoff meeting to the go live of S4 HANA was completed in less than 6 months time, which is otherwise not possible if you have to set up the physical infrastructure. So, and then we have never, frankly speaking, we have never compared the cost of cloud, being on cloud or being on the on-premise data center, because that is not the objective. Our objective was very clear to have a lean IT team and do the business management or business enablement rather than doing the technology management. And the philosophy was to outsource all the standard support, be it technology management or the software development or the software support to the outsource partner. So that is how it works. And then today we are running all the business critical application, be it SAP S4 HANA, the point of sale software, the distributor management software, everything on cloud. And it touch wood, I mean, over last 4 years, we haven't seen any single minute downtime in terms of infrastructure. Application, yes, there will be technical glitches because it is the customer's responsibility, is our responsibility to manage applications. But from the infrastructure standpoint of view, we have never seen any downtime, and we 100% rely on partner ecosystem for support. We don't have any infrastructure IT support person on my payroll or on have more payroll. It's completely outsourced thing. While yes, on the pandemic front, it did help in managing the cost aspect to some extent because we could lower the configuration of the instances. We could run the instances on a limited period basis because at certain point in time, entire business was stopped because of the lockdown and so on. So yes, it did help in controlling the cost to some extent. And since everything was cloud, we had no panic situation also when the lockdown was announced. So everything was anyway accessible on cloud, so people were where it is, and there was no panic at the IT end to manage the access and all those things. And plus we were also free of any worry about reaching to the office or accessibility to the data center, or because people will need access to data center ultimately for backup and few other maintenance. So we had no such problem also. So that's how this journey goes, and it continues. It's a journey, I would say, and then people have to start somewhere by taking small steps and then move on.
Thank you so much. Very insightful and very relevant as well, right? I have one more leading question for you. You obviously started off 4 years back by moving one of your enterprise workloads, right? A really mission critical workload. What are some of the newer projects that you're actually planning for? Some new projects that have more would be innovating with. How are you looking at AWS to bring this innovation to life? Actually moving your agenda to business rather than just IT.
Okay, very interesting question. I mean, we were busy settling the applications over last 3-4 years. Now we are done away with those things, and all the applications are working very smoothly. And now we are focusing on leveraging the true power of cloud, how we can go cloud native, or how we can set up the cloud native database to reduce the cost. And that is where some actions have started. In fact, we have already started working on the cloud native data lake, mainly for our distribution management system data. That is where the sales team do the action in terms of dealers and product-wise sales analytics. So we are using AWS tools like Athena and the Redshift query builder, then the S3 as a database, unstructured data holder, and the Lambda for serverless coding and cloud native application building. So that basic development has already been done and we are using partially. And on top of that, we are further building the capabilities to, I would say, to democratize the data. Like, we have developed the self-service data download portals where somebody can go visit and download their own set of data for their own self analytics. That is one part. And then going forward, we are also working on the building of the report builder, where one can design their own report from the data sets and dashboards for their own consumption. And the next step also is to go cloud native for the Microsoft environment. And probably that's the journey probably we would take in next 1.5 years kind of thing.
Thank you so much. I think it's so relevant, actually making IT available to the user in the hand, right? Rather they being dependent on the IT team. I think that is such a bold move and it's so accurate in today's time.
Yeah.
Like,
I would like to add to that it requires a lot of buy-in from the top level and the conviction at the IT level also, because many times we see IT themselves are not convinced about moving to cloud. They have a lot of apprehensions. So we need to have that conviction at IT level, and of course the top buy-in also is very much essential for cloud journey.
Absolutely. I think buy-in tops down across the organization, like bringing in that change is something that is fundamental. Like that buy-in has to happen, right? But it starts with the first move, like the way you started with some of the applications and then moved to actually bringing your SAP on cloud and now actually innovating, right?
And I think Mr. Gurumukh also mentioned about the cloud cost. It's not costly, certainly it's not costly, but then there are so many other benefits which we don't calculate while comparing the cost of cloud vis-a-vis the on-premise landscape.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate this. I just wanted to get one viewpoint from you, Gurmukh.
Yeah.
Dhavalji spoke about data, right? So how would you, from an AWS standpoint, how would you actually talk about the power of data? And how can customers actually make this leverage, right? Within AWS, we obviously work with multiple startups and multiple different companies that are 100% the IT is hosted on AWS. And how do they leverage data, right? If you can share some insights on that.
So while Dhavalji was talking about it, I remembered a quote from the most famous son of Gujarat right now, which is Mukesh Bhai Ambani, right? What did he say 2 years back? Data is the new oil, right? What does it mean? Come to think about it, and here is an answer of how to become a unicorn, right? They raised 160,000 crore rupees on geo platforms, not for the network, not for the subscribers, on one fundamental premise, that there will be access to those customers and their data. In pandemic, if you look at 2020, India raised close to about $30 billion in foreign direct investment. 80% went to one company. You remember? Right? Everybody was lining up to invest in Jio. So, but what is the basic premise? The fundamental premise is that data was the, वो IT की तिजोरी में रहता था, right? You as a business who wants to have access to the customer information when you are in that customer call, can you access that particular data, get some knowledge and insight on that particular data, and make a relevant solution for the customer? That was not possible in a old legacy IT system, because you will have to then ask IT, then IT will say, okay, 45 दिन बाद मेरा डेवलपर फ्री होगा, वो लिखेगा क्वेरी, फिर उस क्वेरी को टेस्ट करेंगे, फिर आपके पास डेटा आएगा, फिर आप उसको एनालिसिस करना, फिर हम उसके ऊपर कुछ करेंगे, तब तक वो कस्टमर कहीं और चला जाता है, right? I'm oversimplifying it, but all I'm trying to say is the fundamental value of a always on, always available, scalable, queryable, no code infrastructure is that it democratizes the access to information to an authorized user. And now think about it. There is this whole chatter right now around what is called as servant leadership. Maybe saying the organizations don't have to be like this, they have to be like this. Which means the leaders have to be here. And it's the front line. We have to empower our front line. We have to empower our people who are working with the customers, who are running your manufacturing shop, the shop floor. We have to empower them to make those decisions so that we can get agility in our business. How will you do that without data? How will you do that without access to the information on any device, anytime, any preferred way, in a democratized manner to an authorized user? And that's the innovation which AWS is doing for you, so that you don't have to write those complicated codes and complicated solutions and complicated services. You can take those off the shelf, click of the button, customize them for yourselves, and off you go. And you don't have to invest millions of dollars upfront for it. As more and more of your people use those services, you get more and more better outcomes. You invest more and more.
Thank you so much, Gurmukh. Just moving to Jaimin Bhai. Jaimin Bhai, you have been associated with us and you just introduced yourself, right? Multi-dimensional. So you started off as an AWS consumer and many years back. You as a partner, you've obviously been helping multiple different customers in India, internationally, to adopt the AWS technology. And as an evangelist, where you've actually been part of some of the leading associations and really driving the agenda of digitizing those customers or guiding them, right, on how can they remain nimble and agile. Can you tell us about your journey, right? So what has been some of the key benefits that you've experienced by adopting the AWS cloud, and how has it helped you and your customers?
So as you all know that we are an IT company, an IT service company. So I'll give you my two examples. Latest example at the time of a pandemic, lockdown declared. And very next day we have to shift entire our workforce to work from home. So in our language, business continuity clause already started. So if there is any loss, then it loss to our revenue, loss to our profitability. So we are having our production servers and everything on cloud. So what we have to do? We have to just give desktops or connections to our employees at home. There was only 2-hour production loss at the time of lockdown declared in our company, where we shifted around 1,200 desktops in just 2 days. So this is a direct profit, a direct you can say saving, because ultimately we could able to achieve our SLAs which we have signed with our customers. Another thing, I like what Gurmukh said during his keynote address, and have experienced while talking to many retailers in GCCI communications. I don't know how many of you are having ERP in your system, in your organization. But most of you would be having a tally accounting software or any other accounting software. What as an owner we like to do? I'll pause that particular question over here, but give another analogy which Gurmukh said, that today technology is inevitable for any business. Now you tell me whether your private bank or Uber or Zomato, is it an IT company, technology company, or a logistic company, or a BFSI company? Because it is been driven heavily by technology. Few of our IT big SIs, they would be having lesser technology implementation than any of the banking companies. Banking industry. So when we as a user, we try to access these banks, what we see, We try to access our customer, what we see, whether that company or that bank have implemented proper technology into their organization or not, so I can have a better user experience, access to my accounts. Likewise, same thing happens to your organizations. When your customer, your employee, your vendor try to access your system, and if they don't find your simple website, they don't find you on social media. I'm just giving a very ground level requirement. You will say, यार website तो सबके पास होगी यार, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. With a data, I can say, गुजरात में अभी जो MSME हम कहते हैं, 58% of SME के पास लाइव अपडेटेड वेबसाइट नहीं है. ERP की बात छोड़ दो आप. जब हम इंडस्ट्री 4.0 की बात करते हैं तो अभी 4.0 क्या, हम 2.5 पे है. सो these are the small thing which you can access on a cloud. बहुत स्मॉल थिंग है. आप सिक्योरिटी बात करते हो, आप चेकबुक और उसके लिए चाबी सब आपके पास रखोगे, बट आपके सर्वर का पासवर्ड आप खुला छोड़ दोगे. सो दिस आर ऑल you can say reality in the current business. So as I'll come back to my previous thing, that we came out with a solution for tele-accounting software. It doesn't have a user access, it doesn't have AI, BI kind of capability, where you can play with your data. Gurmukh has said that data is new oil. A couple of decades ago, one of our, again, son of soil, Devang Mehta, who founded NASSCOM, founding president, he said, roti, kapda, makan and bandwidth in year 1990, 1995. And that's become true. That's a slogan. Now, if you don't play with your data, हम लोग छोटी कंपनी हम सोचे कि यार हमें क्या जरूरत है. Again, profitability. What we want, profitability. What we want, reduce of our cost. What we want, security. हम इतनी तीन चीज़ें हमें मिल जाएगी तो हमारा रेवेन्यू डबल या ट्रिपल होने वाला ही है. अल्टीमेटली गुजराती लोग हैं तो वी हैव टू, एंड वी आर ऑलवेज वर्किंग अबाउट मेरा प्रॉफिट क्या है. बाद में आप एस फोर हाना की बात करो, कुछ भी करो, बट अल्टीमेटली प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, योर सिक्योरिटी एंड योर ग्रोथ, दैट्स व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग एज अ बिजनेस ओनर. तो ये सब हमें मिल जाता है. तो दैट्स व्हाट वी केम आउट विथ अ प्रोडक्ट कॉल्ड टेलिजेंस ऑन टेली. आपका ही डेटा आपके सामने रख देगा. यू कैन टॉक टू योर डेटा कि ગયા મહિને મારો કેટલો સેલ્સ, આ એક સેલ્સ મેને કર્યો. ધ ડેટા વિલ ટેલ યુ કે ભાઈ સો એન્ડ સો સેલ્સમેને આટલા રૂપિયાનો સેલ કર્યો. સો ધીસ આર ધ સ્મોલ થિંગ યુ કેન ગેટ ઇટ ફ્રોમ ક્લાઉડ કોમ્પ્યુટિંગ. I can go on more and more detail. We'll discuss later on. But this is inevitable. If you are not on cloud, if you have not implemented digital transformation in your organization, believe me or not, you will be of no use. आज से 3 साल पहले एक सर्वे किया था नास्कॉम और मैकेंजी ने, और बोला था बाय 2020 इंडिया की जो आईटी प्रोफेशनल हैं, और बहुत सारे मेरे यहाँ फ्रेंड हैं जो आईटी कंपनी चला रहे हैं, उसमें से 60% ऑफ दोज करंट एट दैट टाइम जो स्किल थी दैट ऑफ नो यूज़, एंड दैट्स बिकम ट्रू. आज आप देखो आईटी के लोग मिलते नहीं हैं, तो आप करते क्या हो? इन हाउस आईटी का कोई बंदा हायर करके और वो सर्वर चलाते हो. वो बंदा चला गया तो यू आर गॉन. So these are the benefits which you are getting directly while moving on cloud.
Thank you, Jaimin bhai. Very, very insightful. I love the example you gave about your Tally software, right? And it is so relevant, I think, for any small businesses, right? And specifically on your website one, right? I will just ask Gurmukh to come in once.
Sure.
So Gurmukh, you spoke about our Amazon native services.
Yeah.
And when Jamin Bhai said that 58%, sorry, you said 58% of the companies are actually do not have an updated website. Often cloud is perceived to be very complex, right? एक वेबसाइट अगर होस्ट करनी है क्लाउड पे तो ओ माय गॉड, लाइक पता नहीं कितना कॉम्प्लिकेशन आने वाला है, पता नहीं कैसे वो प्राइसिंग होगा, कौन मेरे लिए मैनेज करेगा. Gurmukh, can you shed some light on how AWS is looking to simplify a simple application like a website hosting on AWS?
Now that's a great question, and I think that's something which all of you should think about, right? So what's website? It's not your brochureware anymore. It's really your interface with your customers, right? Now, what happens? Let's take a retail example. जब हम अपनी दुकान खोलते हैं पहली बार, तो पहले हम दुकान को लीज पे लेते हैं, उसको बनाते हैं, उस पर सामान रखते हैं, बंदे रखते हैं, सेल्स पीपल रखते हैं, उनको ट्रेन करते हैं, थोड़ा लोकल एरिया मार्केटिंग करते हैं, थोड़ा होर्डिंग पे इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. Then we get the customer and then we try and sell. और अगर नहीं बिक रहा होता तो फिर हम सेल लगाते हैं, बंडलिंग करते हैं, buy one get one free, buy two, all of that, right? That's the fundamental of any business. Now traditionally जो वो 495 रुपए की वेबसाइट हमारे लोग बेचते हैं, which is great, which is the first step maybe, but वो क्या करती है? वो सिर्फ आपका होर्डिंग लगा रही है. वो आपको 100 कस्टमर, 500 कस्टमर या अगर समझो कि 10,000 कस्टमर आ गए, उसके लिए प्रिपेयर नहीं कर रही. अब आप ये कह सकते हो गुरमुख यार, पर मेरे को पता ही नहीं 10,000 आएंगे कि नहीं, तो मैं क्यों 10,000 के खोल के बैठूं दुकान? लॉजिक की बात है, होना ही ऐसे भी चाहिए. प्रूडेंट बिजनेसमैन, राइट? What cloud offers, what ANS, Amazon Native Services basically says is that if you're using our services, so you have the website, so you've got your hoarding, you've got your board, you've got your products in, right? You've got your telecall center to take care of orders. Now, if you get 100 customers, you're paying data usage for 100 customers. If you're getting 1,000 customers, don't worry, it will still service the 1,000 customers. And समझो कि श्री कृष्णा की कृपा हो गई, वो 1,00,000 कस्टमर हो गया, राइट? स्क्वायर फुटेज बढ़ाने की जरूरत नहीं है. The same infrastructure will scale to 100,000 customers. So what are you focusing on? You're focusing on getting that first 100, the next 1,000, the next 10,000, the next 100,000 customers, without really thinking about कि यार अगर वो 100,000 customers एक साथ आ गए तो मेरा square footage कैसे बढ़ेगा, right? Think of it as that's a difference between hosting a website wherever you might host versus hosting on Amazon. Because what it gives you is inherent scalability. And more importantly, which is one place where the data breach happens. आपका डिजिटल एसेट है, आपका वेबसाइट पे क्या है? आपका प्रोडक्ट है, उसका प्राइस है, हो सकता है आपका थोड़ा सा सिस्टम हो उसके अंदर तो आपका कॉस्ट प्राइस भी हो, आपका मार्कअप हो, आपका कस्टमर का डेटा है, आपके कस्टमर का प्रोप्राइटरी डेटा है, उसका एड्रेस है, फोन नंबर है, ईमेल आईडी है. तो जो आपका दुश्मन है वो कहाँ जाएगा? वो उसी डेटा के पीछे जाएगा ना, वो उसी डिजिटल एसेट के पीछे जाएगा. क्योंकि अगर मैं आपका कॉम्पिटिटर हूं, मेरे को पता लग जाए कि आपके कस्टमर कौन है, तो मैं उनको बेच सकता हूं ना. सिंपल सी बात है. आपके साथ की दुकान वाला भी तो यही करता है. वो क्यों बड़ा बोर्ड लगाता है? वो क्या 100 फुट के आगे जाके कहता है कि भैया मैं सस्ता बेच रहा हूं? हाइपर कॉम्पिटिशन है. बट अब आप using AWS, you don't have to worry about the cloud, the security aspect of it, because you are getting the same level of security which you are getting on Amazon.com, but you're paying only for what you are using. Therefore, in the digital first business, website is your gateway to the customer. It's not a brochure. And if it is your gateway to the customer, your experience has to be phenomenal, has to be differentiated, has to be better. Your offers have to be good. Your ease of doing business has to be great. And you have to be prepared for a day when your customers will go up by 10x, 20x, 100x. That's the power of hosting something as simple as your website on cloud. And something for you to think about. Because in digital first world, your website is your storefront.
Thank you, Gurmukh.
You taught me well.
Very insightful indeed. Thank you so much. I'm just going to move to my left-hand side, right? And Manish Bhai, let's start with you. Business continuity planning is obviously critical for every organization, right? And when we talk about business continuity planning, you obviously started your journey on AWS with, with your DR services. How was your experience having the DR on AWS, especially during the pandemic times? How did it help you remain agile and nimble? And how did it help you serve your customers better?
Thank you for your question. Actually, I would like to share our experience regarding a DR on AWS. We implemented SAP for 5 years back, and at that time we was thinking to put everything DR on on-prem. So we were have everything in our plant location. We were also have a corporate office in Ahmedabad. So we are thinking that let us have one DR at Ahmedabad corporate office, or we do have another plant at Chennai location also. We are thinking some kind of that. At the time we were do the calculations, financial calculations, manpower calculations, administrative cost and everything. And then we found that rather investing so much huge amount on on-prem things, let us try AWS. And I call one of your colleague who's expert, technical expert, and who helped me to figure out the minimum cost. And he gave me one good sentence. Still, I remember that: pay as you go. I mean, it's pay as you go. You know that. So pay as you go means like the way you are using, the way you have to pay. If you minimize your use, you don't need to pay a huge amount of things for that. So considering that, I was thinking, let us have a try on this, and we implemented our DR on AWS. Since that day, we never face any issues, and we save a hell lot of money, because I don't need to have a basis consultant, system admin, a data center guy to maintain this, because as per the company rule, I have to maintain DR for the part of a BCP. So this whole financial impact has been saved with the help of AWS, and here also many AWS experts available. I mean, all of you guys can have a word with them and get a good solution for your organization. So I will suggest that also. So definitely you can think on it. And the recent update I would like to share. Just day before yesterday, I was dealing with my legal department, and they want some small solutions, that is SaaS solutions. So normally when you think about implementing any application or something like that, you used to call application vendor, and then you have to call that application vendor, traditionally give a list of hardware you required, and all that. So the beauty is that fellow is a part of AWS. So the moment he said we are part of AWS, I simply say that okay, it will be my choice to go with the AWS, because I already have some load on my AWS. So immediately, I mean, that fellow is ready, and within 2 days, I mean, my entire setup was live. Absolutely. Within 2 days, it is like next to impossible. Within 2 days, my entire legal things was put it into the new premises which is available in AWS, because my data was already there.
Correct.
Just 2 days take, and my setup was live. Save a lot of time, give a speed, and it's really, I mean, I would suggest you guys also just have a look on this. AWS has a capability, and they can help you to run your business with the minimum financial cost.
I think such a lovely example, right? You spoke about financial benefit.
Yeah.
You spoke about timing, like how do you actually save time, and how do you actually provision the solution for various different departments within a few days, right? Imagine
Few
the,
days.
the business impact, because actually those particular business departments or particular business units internally can actually start seeing the benefits coming out in absolutely no time, right? What was the feedback from your legal department, right? I'm sure when they would have called you, they would have had a very different perception, right? Ki they need a new solution, they're calling in, IT, and when in 2 days you actually provisioned and they are already live. So what was the feedback of your legal department?
So my legal head was assumed that he might have 1 month time. So he given me the time frame of 30 days to get it live. And I said it can be happened within 10 days. So that fellow was surprised. And the moment I put his thing, the entire legal things on live on AWS load, that fellow go to my directors and simply praise about myself that this is the man who make my things possible in 2 days. So that was a really big appreciation for me.
Thank you, Manish Bhai. And I'm sure, right, it's not just your legal department. Across different departments, right, as you go along this journey, you will actually find that, the amount of impact you can make directly or indirectly to business and to the outcomes that different departments are driving.
Exactly.
Will only keep increasing multifold, right?
Exactly. It is just a starting. I just give an example because it was happened recently in a last week. That's the reason it's
Extremely relevant.
So the next target is we are going to implement DMS on AWS. It's my future plan.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Manish Bhai, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. Gurmukh, let me just come to you with one leading question in my mind, right? Obviously, Jaimin Bhai spoke about financial benefits, Dhaval Bhai spoke, and now Manish Bhai. Normally, like cloud is perceived to be expensive, right? I don't know, when I speak to some friends and they tell me, cloud, अरे नहीं बहुत महंगा होगा यार, छोड़ो मतलब बहुत complicated है, बहुत महंगा होगा. How does AWS look to decode this? And obviously, actually, if you see users, right, and once you adopt the journey, it is not about cost, it is not about expensive. It's actually about the outcome, right, that you get out of it. How is AWS addressing this perception in the market?
Great question, and I alluded to it in my, I don't know, वो उसका कुछ और ही बन गया, वो keynote तो था नहीं, it was something else. But the fact that you are able to take the scale and then bring the cost down for your customers, 111 times, if you are able to reduce the cost of services for your customers, how you are able to do that is basically you are able to take the scale and then reduce it on a per unit basis. And that's been the AWS's ethos, right? I have an open offer for everyone. Okay? Launch one service on AWS. We'll give it to you free for first 2 months. How about that? I may lose my job for it, but that's okay. Right? And I just cooked it up. I didn't even ask anybody. That confident we are about the fact that we want you to be successful, right? And what is cost? Let's think about it, right? What is cost? Cost is an input to an eventual outcome. And 5 crore lag do, 50 crore dunga, right? That's the equation. So it's the same thing. Are you getting the desired ROI and value out of it is the more important question than absolute cost. एक वेबसाइट मेरी 500 रुपये 5000 रुपये में चलती थी, 50,000 रुपये में चलती है. That's one way to look at it. The second way to look at it is पहले मैं 1000 कस्टमर को सर्व करता था, 50,000 को सर्व करता हूँ. Now which is better? Is serving 50,000 customer better or is serving 1000 customer better? For you and for your business. So the way AWS looks at it is, it's our constant endeavor to look at the scale which we have, and that's the ethos of AWS, and make it not just relevant but also cost effective over time for you. And we spend so much time and effort. I'm not aware of any other company on this planet who actually goes back to you, and we've had customers and team here can give you those examples, where we've gone to the customer and said, sir or madam, you're actually spending more than what you should be spending. Let's actually optimize that for you. And we do that proactively. We have hundreds of people who are looking at the consumption on an ongoing basis and saying, no, this doesn't look right. There's something wrong in your application architecture. Let's help you redo it so that your overall cost continues to come down. Not because of the fact that we don't like making money. We do that because we are so customer obsessed. Everything which we do starts with the customer and we work backwards. And for you also, it's not about owning IT. It is about your customers. So if we are obsessing about you, you have then time and opportunity to obsess about your customers. It's a chain. And that's really the ethos of AWS. So whether reduction of cost, whether providing you the scale, whether making sure that we help you optimize on an ongoing basis, that is what our whole ethos is. And that's what AWS does. So please, if you have an application, if you have a workload which is substantial in nature, work with us. We'll help you optimize it. Does it make sense, sir?
Absolutely, thank you. I think Dhavalbhai wanted to add something, and then
it's not about the cost also, it is also about the resources you need. I mean, if I talk about Havemore, probably SAP was implemented way back in 2010 or 11, and post that probably Havemore has grown 5x. Now, and today also many companies of a very small size think of implementing ERP. Now, if you want to implement ERP, SAP kind of ERP, you need multiple resources, because everything is so niche in technology flavor that you will not have one person having all the skills. So while you are comparing the cost of cloud, probably all these things will go much longer in calculations. And then with cloud, you can also rely on 24/7 support availability, which is not possible with the on-premise skills. And today even skills are also scarce, and you find it very difficult to get skills also. So if you add the cost of skill and different manpowers you need on-premise infrastructure, it is much higher. I mean, if you frankly calculate on point by point.
Thank you so much. Jayendra ji, you wanted to add something on this particular point, right, on the hosting point?
Costing, yes.
Yes, sir.
I just want to remind, just when these people were thinking or discussing our own experience, I wanted to share about the costing. Generally, trading associations and we trade and industries have been, fighting against the different online platform and trying to give some benefits of this thing, because change is inevitable and people have to, if they want to grow or if they want to do the business, they have to be here. So this type of one event which all in Ahmedabad must be remembering, and some of you might have got prizes also. That was Ahmedabad Shopping Festival done in 2019, last Vibrant Gujarat. The idea was to give protection and promotion to the brick and mortar stores, local stores, and traditional shop owners against the online attack which that time was just in. This was, I am talking about before pandemic, when this was on the high, people buying on online and all those things were high. Government of Gujarat, with the government of Gujarat, we went there and we tell them that this is the problem we are facing, how are you going to help us? So on my concept and all those, after they agreed for Ahmedabad Shopping Festival. And we decided this thing to do it completely 100% digital way. And we did it in a digital way. And that's what I wanted to share, how the cost was working in that thing. When one of my cousins, son-in-law was operating this company, Tazin India Limited. I don't know anybody knows Mr. Jamin. At present he is not, he is in California. So he offered me, uncle, this is the thing, if you want to do all these things, we tried to do it in a comprehensive manner. And we had a website also, where we took almost 1,000 rupees registration from the vendor shopkeepers, and we had 17,000 registration in Ahmedabad, shopkeepers, smallest, even the this Law Garden market people well included in that thing. It was a season, so government sponsored some of them free of charge, It was 17,000 data we had got. We took 100 for 1,000 rupees for him, and then we put a raffle coupon system. On each 500 rupees purchase, a coupon would be issued. So now that was the problem we were facing. So Jamin told me that now we'll do it on digital platform. So he devised some listing, and then we had our application also. That was from Google Play. It was during that time it was one of the top 5, because Ahmedabad is downloaded not less than 2.25 lakhs of that applications on during that. And there was a system that on the people would go and see our stores who are there. And there was a cross section. So मणिनगर में अगर ज्वेलरी के लिए शॉप है तो कौन सी है, भोपाल में शूज़ वाले हैं तो कौन से हैं. All classification was done and everything was the most simple and user friendly. There were drop downs also, you can make out which are there. Then we gave them a facility also to operate and manage themselves. Twice in that 10 days, 11 days period, they would put their offer. कि मेरे पास अब इतने सारा माल है, ये आ गया है, समझो कि ये पर्टिकुलर साइज का शर्ट मेरे पास है, आई एम रेडी टू गिव यू 50-60% डिस्काउंट. एंड वट एवर दैट मैसेज विल गो टू ऑल 2.25 पीपल अलॉन्ग साइड दैट थिंग. Plus, as I told you, there was a mistake. In 10 days, we issued 3 crore 70 lakhs coupons. That was the sales. And all those coupons were on real time. Whenever you buy that thing, your mobile number would be there. And real time, you would get the information that your coupon number is this thing. And every hour we used to do on computerized only draw. We had offered at that time, every minute one prize would be there. Every minute during that time. For daytime it was so totally 920. During daytime 60 minutes 1 hour, and during that time 30, because night time में business नहीं होता तो वो develop करे. After 9:30 that would be up to 6 o'clock, the coupon would be every hour 30 coupons would be there, prize money. Whatever, wherever they go, 500 rupees one coupon would be issued immediately. उनको खाली उनका invoice number डालना था. So 2 things we could do. We could help government to get more business legitimized. जो 500 रुपये देने के लिए कोई बिल नहीं मांगते थे, कुछ नहीं करते थे, they were prompted कि 500 रुपये का भी बिल ले लो तो हमें मुझे प्राइस मिलेगा. That was the initiative government benefited through that thing. दूसरा, हमें भी वो उनको सिखाना था कि डिजिटाइजेशन से बिजनेस इज ईजी और आप कहीं ना कहीं अपलोड हो सकते हैं. तो दैट सो 3 crore 70 lakhs कूपन्स हुए, 2.25 लाख एप्लीकेशंस में डाउनलोड हुए, इतना बिजनेस हुआ. एंड ऑलमोस्ट वी कुड गिव 13,000 प्राइजेस पर डे. 1,000 वो था, वही एट द एंड ऑफ दैट बम्पर प्राइजेस थे. एंड एवरीथिंग कंप्लीट वाज डन ऑन प्लेटफॉर्म, on digitization platform. I don't know which platform was there, because at that time also मुझे तो काम करना था, वही बात कर रहे, wherever you go कौन platform नहीं. But that cost of that whole project of 8 crore rupees total turnover of budget of government gave us 8 to 9. We could, the cost was only 20 lakhs. अगर हम कूपन छपवाने जाते, डुप्लीकेशन का डर होता था, सिक्योरिटी का प्रॉब्लम होता था, ये कूपन कहाँ छपोगे, कहाँ से जाएंगे, हाउ टू गिव देम. Distribution. ये कूपन बाइंग ऑल्सो वॉज कम्प्लीटली ऑनलाइन. एनीबडी वुड बाई मिनिमम 5,000 रुपये का 10 कूपन ले ले, खत्म हो जाए ऑनलाइन. दे हैड ए क्लिक, वो अपने अकाउंट पे ट्रांसफर करके उनको दूसरे सूट का कूपन उसी में मिल जाता था. ऑनलाइन एंड एवरीथिंग वॉज कम्प्लीटली ऑनलाइन, नथिंग डूइंग. I don't know why AMC was one of our partner, and it was their duty to just I go for some records and digitization में इतना turnover ये सब there we could not do the rewards. But this was the cost only 20 लाख रुपए में हमने ये 8 करोड़ रुपए का प्रोजेक्ट. Now you see the cost of this thing. नहीं तो कूपन हम करवाने जाते, छपवाने जाते, बहुत प्रॉब्लम भी हो जाता है. And this was completely secured हो गया. And every day we would get this thing. Then we would tell, again the winners would get that SMS. वो SMS लेके आ जाए, वही मोबाइल लेके ले आ जाए, उसके साथ में मोबाइल के बिल लेके जाए और आधार कार्ड लेके आवे. We documented everything and we still have kept everything. That is a separate manual thing. But otherwise 8 करोड़ के प्रोजेक्ट में हमारी कॉस्ट 20 लाख रुपए आई. आप बोल रहे हैं ना कितना.
Power of digitization, right?
Yeah, power of digitization.
Just the power of digitization.
Yes.
Not just the scalability, but actually the reach.
Right.
The ability to communicate with everyone. like by pushing information, right? Whether it was offers, whether it was the sales offers, the
No
power
doubt, sir,
of
manual
actually locating
hoardings and
customers.
advertisement and everything was done. This event was inaugurated by Mr. Modi, and his initial speech, he also told, he just really appreciated our effort कि अहमदाबाद में शॉपिंग फेस्टिवल कैसे हो सकता है, and that also digital. So on that basis, Government of India had decided कि हर साल में हम 4 जगह पे different places, every places, हम इस तरह का shopping festival, on that basis they would do it. They had got everything from us. So that was the first thing before even digitization जो ये हुआ, मैं ये बात कर रहा हूँ, before pandemic,
Much before pandemic.
2019 में,
Correct.
January में. So before pandemic and all those things, we had done something. Now all out of that 17,000, 4,000 were government sponsored, जो छोटे छोटे थे, and बाकी 12,000 में से कम 5,000 के पास अपनी वेबसाइट या अपना कहीं ना कहीं किसी न किसी तरह का लिंक है, because वो हमने वेब पेज उनको बना दिया था, that we had already given to them, it was their property. तो अभी कहीं ना कहीं उसमें से वो Facebook पे मार्केटिंग करते हैं, means ऑनलाइन मार्केटिंग का एक क्रेज भी उनको आ गया, this is benefit and this is simplified and all those things. This is what I was just, whatever you are going to ask me, ये cost wise थी तो मैंने मेरे अपना शेयर किया.
Nini, very relevant, and thank you very much, right? Absolutely cutting edge innovation, right? And even if you look at the way the ideation from your side, the way it started with an idea and the way you actually took to a platform and innovated with the platform so that you actually bring down the cost and drive the reach and scalability. So, but just
pandemic પછીની તો વાત, we all know, આજે પેટીએમ છે, that is also online thing. આજે નાના રેકડીવાળાને જેને મોબાઈલ જોવાની કે બેંક એકાઉન્ટ કેવી રીતે એક્સેસ કરવાનું એને ખબર નથી, એ પેટીએમથી પેમેન્ટ કરે છે, અને પેટીએમે ઇનોવેશનવાળી સિસ્ટમ કરી છે કે તમે માઇક સેટ પણ આવી જાય, તમારા 367 રૂપિયા જમા થાય તો એ બોલાઈ જાય, પહેલાંને મગજમાં આવી જાય, આપણે બધા એક્સપિરિયન્સ કરે છે. સો આઈટી સર્વિસીસ એન્ડ આઈટી બેઝ, વાય આઈ એમ હિયર, દેટ ઇઝ બિકોઝ ઓફ દેટ થિંગ. વી હેવ ટુ અવર માઇન્ડ, કીપ અવર માઇન્ડ ઓપન. આપ તો બધા, યુ પીપલ આર આઈટી સર્વિસ પ્રોવાઈડર, but reach to the real customer, these type of stories and all those things we can share to them, and we can tell them that ultimately it is going to benefit. Yes, that is definitely one thing, that person, businessman or SME should have something to offer to wider sections. This opens beyond physical this thing. He should be having that logistics approach and those things, that I'll make it reach to them and how to do that thing, everything. That should be there. But with what you say, sir, that's a bundle of applications on AWS platform and all that, which is costing very less. So basic knowledge of utilizing and using that thing should be promoted by AWS.
Yes,
something like this, this thing. This is more technical section. I don't know, because we are advocacy people, so we would advise you on anything. So I don't know, I can advise you people, but we want from trader side something to be simplified. Very much simply, you can take this type of in every industries association, or rather traders association, because industry people are now more or less, because of the compliance system and all those things. The worst thing is IT में हमारा experience जो है, that is compliance.
Right.
In GST compliance, we all had fed up. That was not a real good model with that put. We don't want to criticize any company. But if it is not user-friendly, then also it won't work. It should be user-friendly and all those things. Like Swiggy and Zomato, I told you in the afternoon, they have given enough and really valuable support to the people who were earning very less. जो 100-150 रुपये करके अपनी कहीं गली में दुकान चलाते हैं, भजिया बनाते हैं, समोसा बनाते हैं, ये करते हैं, उनको भी they have come on Swiggy and Zomato. Let them charge whatever difference they are, but then your material is being sold. शाम को आपके घर में आपके फैमिली के 500-700 रुपये जो खर्चा करना है मिलता है, वो मिलता है. लेट बी एनीथिंग एल्स, बाकी की बात नहीं है हमारे लिए. जो बात है दैट मीन्स ए लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस. एंड इन आई नो इन अहमदाबाद इटसेल्फ दे मस्ट हैव गिवन not less than 5,000 to 6,000 people more roji roti and regular income out of this thing. So we should appreciate the services and the benefit of IT services or cloud kitchen or whatever it is, and definitely we would support something like that. It is simplified, and user friendliness is the main thing, which you also told. So that's okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jayendra bhai. Very, very relevant, right? When you were giving the example of Swiggy and Zomato, and I was just thinking, and I'm sure many of you all would have experienced it, right? ऑन अ फ्राइडे और सैटरडे आप अराउंड 7:30-8 बजे अपने घर से निकलो, किधर भी जाने, आपको हर ऑल्टरनेट गाड़ी के आजू बाजू में किधर ना किधर एक स्विगी या जोमेटो का टी शर्ट पहना हुआ बाइक वाला दिखेगा ही दिखेगा. दैट इज द कन्वीनियंस इट हैज ब्रॉट टू अस एज यूजर्स, राइट. आज अगर मेरे घर में मेरे बच्चे अगर मुझे रात को 9:30 बजे बोलेंगे कि एक आइसक्रीम खाना है, आई डोंट नीड टू गेट डाउन, गो टू द शॉप और रिमूव द कार, एक आइसक्रीम की दुकान ढूंढो. हम उधर कुछ बटन दबाते हैं एंड यू नो द आइसक्रीम इज देयर. मतलब वी डोंट नीड टू वरी.
And that to have more की.
हाँ, have more, obviously, that's the favorite, right?
More important.
I, like personally, I can share one experience, about my family. We prefer nowadays not going to a restaurant because the kids want to eat some other cuisine. I am a traditional Indian guy. My wife wants to eat something else. So we just order on Swiggy for all three of us, right? Everyone is very happy in the comfort of home. All you have to do is just click a few buttons and the food is at home, right? And everyone gets what they want. So that's really the convenience, right, that some of these platforms are getting us.
And
so thank
Swiggy,
you so much.
Swiggy runs on which cloud platform? Anybody know? AWS. Thank you.
Thank you. Jayesh bhai, coming to you. You obviously started your cloud journey, by moving some of the initial workloads, right, on AWS. Over a period of time, you've actually now started adopting and experimenting with some of the more advanced services that we have. And these advanced services around IoT, specifically green grass, quick sites and analytics. How has AWS helped your digital transformation, helped your agenda of digital transformation for a typical large manufacturing setup like yours?
Thank you for the question. I think we started similar times, Q1 of 2018. And not few load, our entire S4HANA setup is production servers are on AWS. Entire S4HANA stack is on the AWS. We migrated from ECC to S4HANA. So we had on-premise servers, and then 2018 first year, second quarter, we started S4HANA on the cloud. So when we, let me share a few thoughts why we go for the AWS. The first was, हमारा जो है इधर, our factory location, and many times due to rain, I was worried कि मेरे servers का क्या होगा. But when we were migrating to S4HANA, it was the clear case because hardware refresh, and you all know. So we decided to go for the AWS. So few reasons. One was the zero downtime. First reason clear in my mind was I want the complete availability, full availability. Second is the scalability. So anytime we can upscale or descale whatever is required. So second was the scalability, because in today's business, anytime company can, there can be acquires, there can be any increase in the greenfield, whatever, many things can happen. So we have flexibility on both these sides. Either we can upscale or integrate, whatever it is. And of course, the most important part is the cost. Cost, where instead of CapEx, we are opted for OpEx. And as rightly Gurumukh said, we started with the condition with the AWS that we will work out 3 months, and if something doesn't work out or really goes out of the control, then we'll move out of the AWS. But that's how we started. What he said is, I am endorsing that. So from 2018, all our production servers are running, and we have not faced any downtime because of the infrastructure. Of course, the application maintenance is different part, but for the infrastructure point of view, even 2 years pandemic, we have not seen any downtime. That's our experience. Second, recently we started the working on the IoT because we are the manufacturing house. So we have multiple factories in the 2 in Ahmedabad. Others one is China, one is Romania. We started our IoT journey. So we have started with India first. So we have started connecting few lines. So far we have connected few lines in 2 different profit centers to the AWS cloud. and we are getting the real-time data. So keeping with the discipline what you started, I am not talking about technology, because that's many technology views. We don't want to confuse the talk about technology. But when I talk about my challenges for the IoT journey, so we have within the 2 plants, we have around 14 different shop floors. And each shop floor has different challenges because different set of machines. So when we work about IoT, one is I have different shop floors and there are different set of machines, different set of challenges. On the other side, I mean we know that once we do go for IoT, we will generate data which we have not generated in last 20 years or 30 years, that we will generate in 2-3 years. So to manage that scale of data and to infrastructure, so one side we have gone for we have explored and using the AWS services. So data volume, scale, and that can be handled very easily. So then we can focus on our IoT side real business challenges rather than the infrastructure challenges. So that's how our journey is. And from one more point, I'll add the cost point of view. The good part is cost is transparent. I mean, if I use some infrastructure or Manish bhai use some infrastructure, cost will be same. There is no louder voice which will get the better discounts. So that's the good part of it. Thank you.
And that's just the pricing philosophy, right? The way we talk about it at AWS, we call it public pricing. Like what you build yourself, if you do know how to build it, let's say you build an architecture or you build like an estimate online, is what an AWS person will give you. Like it is just if you build something and send it to us for validation, we may just help you optimize it. But it's not that, a customer on the next door will get a better price than someone else. You don't need to haggle with us for discounting, no month-end pressures where we may buckle under, like where you'll find some sales guys coming to you in the month-end and saying, just close the deal and, we'll give you something more, right? In that, you will always feel you could get a better deal. And it happens to all of us, right? We're all human beings. We always feel, thoda aur kar leta, I could have got a better price. So I think that's just our pricing philosophy, and thanks for touching on that. You also, can you touch upon the support you got from our partner ecosystem, right? So when you started off 4 years back, I'm sure there was an ecosystem of partners that you leveraged, and can you touch upon that, please?
Yeah, so I think we have Electromech as the partner for the AWS journey. So during HANA also they supported us, and I am not remembering any instance because of any infrastructure issue we delayed any project or we have faced any challenges. Now recently with the IoT we are exploring many technologies, and with the help of AWS and Electromech we are getting the good support from both the sides.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You was talking about actually enabling the generation, right, that's interested. And Gurmukh, you spoke about the SMB Vidyalaya initiative that we've launched. Can you just talk about how, by using the SMB Vidyalaya, we're actually trying to bring the education of AWS and the different use cases, backed by what we have as a training and certification arm, right? How are we bringing that to the masses?
The single biggest challenge everyone in this room is going to face in times to come is going to be talent paucity. The technology talent is already at a premium. I'm sure you are already realizing that when you're trying to hire people. The cost, the availability, all of that is really, really becoming very expensive. So how do we change that? How do we make it easier for you to get the technology skills which you still need to run your business and grow your business? So there are two elements to it. One is, as a business owner, what is that you need to know? As a business owner, you need to know what can cloud do for me? What are the use cases? How can I adopt it? How can I start? Right? If I'm a manufacturing company, what can I do? If I'm a retail company, what I can do, and so on. So that is an initiative called SMB Vidyalaya. We already have 4 online courses. We are going to have 50 online courses where as an owner manager or senior person in your organization, you can go and train yourself. And it's free. It's all paid for by AWS and you can take advantage of that. But not just that, we have a comprehensive list of what is called as technology training courses. Courses which your employees can take to build technical capabilities for themselves so that they can do more within your organization. See, one of the things which I keep on hearing is, how do we start? How do we scale? What next? What else can we do? What you can do is you can take advantage of our training and certification process, which works very closely with our teams, the SMB teams, in offering to you very low cost technology content and certification, which you can take advantage of. It's available through our partner ecosystem. It's also available through AWS. So what happens then is that if you want to build capability in one particular area, you can get your staff trained, or you can hire people who already have an AWS certificate, because you know they'll come with a certain level of quality because they have that certification. So training and certification is a very big initiative, and SMB Vidyalaya, which is part of training and certification, it's for you, it's for the owner managers such as yourselves to take advantage from those courses, and you'll keep on getting. So if you need any more information about it, you can search online, or reach out to any of our colleagues here, and we'll be happy to provide that content to you. But more importantly, when you're trying to build your own technical capabilities, look for multiple training and certification opportunities which we already have.
I think, thank you so much guys. I know you all have been extremely patient and extremely attentive as well, right? So thank you so much. This is what we just wanted to leave back, right? We just wanted to demystify, that today AWS cloud is not as complex as it seems to be, right, upfront. There are financial benefits. It helps you stay agile. It helps you increase your reach, drive scalability across the business, and helps you drive the digital innovation that every company today needs, right? So thank you very much. A big shout out to the entire panelists. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here.